Hello, welcome to Tykes Tv. You all know me, Neil Ellis, and as always, Ryan the Bearded Tyke. It's always a pleasure, mate, having you on. Going to cover a bit. We're going to get on about the relaunch of the now Premier League season. Not the. We'll talk about that. A bit of a misprint by Barnsley FC, but kudos for relaunching another retro kit. Very good. I think it's going to be very popular.
Very,
But we'll
very.
talk about We'll talk about Wrexham game. Talk about Birmingham coming up. Ryan, just going back to Wrexham game, mate. I mean, we could go back to a weekend if we want, but we're not really going to cover out the sins in glory here. Again, Wrexham game. Again, creating chances, mate. Not putting ball in back at net, and again another goal late on. It just come through as like not a knife through butter, mate. It was just so disappointing to concede that late on.
Yeah. I mean, it was a frustrating performance on Tuesday. I thought the Bristol game, mate. I went to the Bristol game. I thought for the vast majority of it, we did, but not for the whole thing, mate. We completely dominated them, and it was just frustrating that we didn't put ball back in net. You know, because the amount of chances we had, but we actually played some really, really nice football, some really big, good build-up play. Don't think the Wrexham performance were as good. Granted, we're playing a far better team in Wrexham away. We've got an impeccable home record. Do I think we deserve to lose it? I don't probably think we deserve to lose it. You know, without being brilliant, we didn't create enough in top third, mate. We didn't create in final third. We didn't create enough chances, and when we did, we didn't. We were clinical enough, and that's been haunting us for last since Rotherham game, really. But even having said that, even during Rotherham game, there were a lot of chances that we didn't tuck away, and it took 86 minutes to get that killer, to get the killer blow.
Yeah.
But the difference is we did. We actually did. We got it done against Rotherham. And since then, we've struggled, against Cambridge. We should have hammered them. The amount of chances we had. Wigan, we were poor. But against Reading, we should have beaten Reading. It seems to be haunting us at the minute. We're stuck in a bit of a rut of not being able to tuck us chances away because we're not getting thumped by anybody, And to be fair, in most of the games, we are probably the better team. Probably not. I'm not going to say that against Wrexham, but it's just frustrating, Neil. And it's either going to be, I mean, it's costing us already. We're already 10 points off second place. So second place also is looking a little bit ominous already, isn't it? Yeah. And I think if we get playoffs, we'll do well. But January is going to be a big time, mate. We all know what we need. Yeah, it was just a frustrating watch, and then to give that goal away there with nobody at midfield picking him up, he's sauntered through midfield, and then defence they're just peeling back, peeling back, and it's poor, mate. It's poor. They should have at least somebody should have gone out and closed him down. We just switched off towards the end of the game because recent results, we probably needed 3 points. But as a standalone result, going away to Wrexham, one of his promotion rivals, who've got an impeccable home record,
got a decent record.
A clean sheet is not actually a bad result.
No.
And we threw all that hard work away. We're just switching off, and I mean, it was just horrendous. Just watching the whole defensive line go further back. Go on, lad, have a dig.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, Ben Killip weren't just able to get his hand to it, and he'd been outstanding, Ben Killip.
Yeah, he pulled off some saves. Yeah.
He's been brilliant since he come in. I have to say, I can't find the fault with him at all since he's come back in. Killip had an outstanding game. It's just a shame that he couldn't pick up his clean sheet because he deserved it.
Yeah,
frustrating watch, mate. And now I've only got Birmingham Saturday.
Yeah, well, we'll come on to Birmingham. Yeah. I mean, for me, it's again need to be more ruthless up front, and I'll cast my mind back. When last time we had a ruthless striker, and you going back years. Some people probably said Kiefer Moore. Some people probably said John Hendry. They knew that kind of side were ruthless. For me, it seems to be we're trying to overplay it and try and look for this wonder goal and this very simple get your boot foot lace and get it back at onion net. Just smash the ball. But I get where Darryl Clark come because I think he got asked last week about this. I think it were against Bristol game, right? I forgot who asked it. I think it was on Radio Sheffield, and Clark came out and said, well, we don't want people, we want players just having pot shots from here and everywhere and like complacency. I'm thinking, but we're not even attempting that. We know that players have got it in the locker.
Yeah.
We know such as like Humphries has got it, Phillips has got it, which we'll get on about Phillips in a minute. Luke O'Connell's got a decent strike. Russell has, but again, I'm looking at this lineup now, DKD, and I'm not just singling DKD out. We're not playing to his full potential. We seem to be people pleasing because it seems to me we're playing Humphries up front, we're playing two off him, DKD and Phillips, rather than two strikers up front.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that's going to solve his goal scoring problem, but we need two strikers. We're not relying on one. And as regards to Phillips, we've been on about it off air, Ryan, and we'll get on about Phillips now. For me, and you've said it, and I think you nailed it, Ed, it's 50% of a player what he is.
Yes.
And for some reason, why is keep getting the starting 11 when there's like Nokali, on bench, not even being brought off at bench at times to get used? Because when he has started, when he has come on, he's been a player. And I don't know, for whatever reason, Phillips is constantly starting when he's available and fit. I don't know, mate. It's a baffling one for me.
Yeah, it's frustrating, mate. I mean, I want to preface with to say that I really like Adam Phillips. I think he's been brilliant the last 2 seasons.
Yeah.
I think he's been a wonderful player. When he's playing well, he's outstanding. He ain't playing well, Neil.
No.
He looks a yard off at pace. He's not going in for 50-50s. He's passing sometimes against Rotherham, I have to say his passing were outstanding. But then other times his passing's a bit off. He's not pulling trigger. You don't see his confidence in front of goal seems to have gone. Is he still struggling with his injury, or is it a confidence thing, or is there something else going on behind the scenes? As in,
he wants gone.
Does he want away? I don't know, mate. There's something not right with Adam Phillips at the minute, and it's affecting the team because Nuakale is, when he's come on, has been clearly better, and it's yet then. So I mean, I think for me, he needs dropping. I think he needs a few games on bench.
Yeah.
Because he's not on form, and it's sad because I want Adam, a full firing Adam Phillips is vital to any team. It'd fit in for me. A fully fit and a fully firing Adam Phillips is a championship player. So we've got that asset in his team, and it's just not there. It's not working. He's not playing to that potential, and I think he probably needs just taking out a firing line for now. And because Nuakale, every time he comes on, he's really hungry. And then if Nuakale does come on, where do we put him? Because he was brought in as a number 8, weren't he, as a replacement for Herbie Kane. But whenever he's come on, he's played in pivot at number 6, where Luke O'Connell plays. So it's where do we use him, and then where do we put Luke O'Connell? But something needs to change for Saturday, mate. We can't just keep going with the same lineup that's not achieving.
I mean,
putting games to bed when we should be putting games to bed. We should have been out of sight in a lot of those games. These last 5 where we've not won, with cup included. There's at least 3 of those where we should have run amok, and we haven't done. So it can't just keep starting with that same midfield 3 and expecting any changes, because, like I said, he's out of form at the minute. So I think Phillips probably needs dropping himself and bringing Nuakale in, and then shifting midfield around. And what you were saying about DKD, we're just not utilising him to his full strength, Neil. It's frustrating. We spent all that time. We said this earlier in the season. We spent all that time chasing him and negotiating with Mansfield to get him. Who, with the ball at his feet, looks like one of the best players in the league. He's uber talented, but we've just not got him in the right position. Surely they can see where he played for Mansfield last year and where he was most effective.
But Mansfield Town fans were calling it out.
Exactly. They kept saying it online. We were saying we're signing him because we need to sign a striker. DKD's coming in. They kept saying he's not, lads, he isn't a striker, he's a midfielder. He isn't a striker. So, I mean, is he playing striker because of the lack of options?
I think he is.
Potentially, because obviously Max Watters is injured. And Jallow and Cosgrove are just not. They're not up to it, mate. They're not up to the job. It's the knock. This is now what we're feeling now. is what we. And to be fair, it's gone on longer than I thought it would. I thought we'd have felt it a bit earlier, but we are now feeling it really now. Is the summer recruitment of strikers? We didn't get a striker in. We didn't do it. So now what happens is when you've either got, and it's the same for other parts of the squad as well. So when we've been firing, you don't feel it as much because we've been playing well. So when you get an injury or you get a player out of form, that we haven't got the depth in the squad to continue the form that we require. And we're feeling it now, mate. We're feeling it now because we've got injuries. We're Max Watters and Josh Benson's obviously injured, so and then we've got like Adam Phillips is not playing to his full potential. Corey O'Keefe is very hit and miss at the minute. When he's good, he's Corey. We're brilliant against Bristol, but then he has one game and three poor games.
Yeah.
So it's like, we don't seem to have the strength in depth to be able to come in and change it. So January is a really big time for me, Neil. We've got to get a striker in.
Yeah.
We've got to get a striker in. We've got to get a number 9. Now, obviously, I need to be realistic because we see stuff online all the time back there. So we need to go get a 20 season ago striker and all this stuff. So it's like,
right, everybody does.
Who is that? Who is it? Don't just say it because otherwise it's just words. It's not FIFA. You can't make a player up. You can't invent a player, right? You've got to go out and get him. Anyone that's in League One that's got a top level striker is not going to want to sell him to a rival in League One. If you're dipping down into then where you go in, you go in League Two and League and National League, aren't you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Or do we go to the Championship and get a loan? It's
been there, done that, and we've seen what's happened when we've done good.
Needing a striker is not unique to Barnsley FC. Every single. Everyone will be going after him. So then how do we compete? There's that kid at Walsall. I'd ask her about to tell me his name, but I know he's dipping his bread in League Two. The kid at Walsall. So maybe he's available. There's a kid at York. I know it's National League. I'm well aware. I'm sure I'll get some flack for saying it. There's a kid at York who were flying at top of league. And again, he's their striker. I can't remember his name. He's absolutely dipping his bread in. So are they the kind of players that we're going to have to go after to try and get somebody in?
And
or do we go for a Championship loan?
No, I'd go for a striker that's actually in form rather than going for Premier League. And a striker what I'd be bringing back now in January, it'd be Andy Dallas. Because I think with the chances being created...
I hadn't thought of that, Neil. It's a good...
Andy Dallas, I'm telling you now, with the chances, we are creative for chances. I would have him up front, starting for Barnsley. And people probably say, oh yeah, but he's at Barrow, he's been at home, he hasn't really done Alton, but it's not over. If you're going to create chances for strikers like we are doing at the moment in time, you put him and Humphries up front, because while well intentions, for me, Jallow is not an out-and-out striker. He is more of a winger, inside forward, whatever you want to call it. He's not an out-and-out striker. You've got Max Watters injured up and down. You've got Cosgrove, who's a big target man. It's a miss again with form. You fetch on someone like Andy Dallas, and you'll provide him chances with Humphries up front. I'm telling you now, that'll give another option. But I would rather go out and get a kid who's in National League, League Two, who's hitting back at net, run regular form. You're going to cost a bit of money, do it. Because I think if you go down that route to Championship striker on loan, he does well, he gets you a few goals. We all know that Barnes is never going to buy him because it's going to cost a lot of money. Other teams will be looking at him. Look at McAtee, for example. Prime example, McAtee does well at Barnsley. Did Barnsley really take up that option? No. Went to Bolton. So again, you player improving a player that's not our player. I want a Barnsley player that's going to improve.
I agree, mate. I agree.
And I think Andy Dallas will fit that mould. I would fetch him back, and I know Daryl Clark is, his hands are tied. He's alluded to that in press conferences on about the unbalanced squad. Some players are going to have to go. I'm not being funny now, so I'm going to call it out, and it pains me to say it. I think Aidan Marsh needs to go out.
Oh yeah, he's
never going to do it. He's not including his squad anymore like now. Jallow seems to have overtook him there. I think there's a few other players there that probably need to go. I'm looking at Casper Wapperter. I think we're overloading with central defenders here.
Absolutely.
I think he needs to go. I think Conor McCarthy needs to go. I think we need to clear the decks here and actually bring in players that are actually going to improve it. Not just for team, but the squad in general.
We're quite squad heavy, aren't we, in players, in areas?
Yeah. Look at central
They're just
defence.
not getting utilised, mate. They're just not getting utilised in first team squad.
And then you look at right wing back role, we've got Cotton O'Keefe fighting who's going to be most consistent player for the game.
Yeah.
Georgie Gent's been good for me, by the way. I think he's really come on. A slow start, but he has improved.
But we've got no cover
We've
got no cover. We've got no cover. So
that's the worry.
There's two issues with that. There's no competition. I'm sure he's a young lad. I'm not saying this complacency is going to set in, but there's no competition at left wing back, and there's nobody to replace him if he gets injured. So we've got nothing. There's nobody to bring on off the bench to make it. What he's been doing is sticking Pines in and sticking Earl out on left. Which listen,
bringing
all I want to say
Lofthouse on, but putting him up a winger or something, whatever. I don't know.
Yeah. I want to preface this with just saying that I like Daryl Clark. I think you know he went through a bit of a rough patch earlier on where we were losing. We weren't winning another 4-game unbeaten running, no winning running league, but we were playing terribly. We've not been playing terribly. You know, Wrexham were a bit frustrating. And Wigan game were poor, but for most time since that break, since international break, we've actually been playing really good football.
Yeah.
You know, he can't go on and stick the ball in the net. He's setting the team up right.
That's down to players, isn't it?
Yeah, vast majority of the time he's getting the squad set up right. You know, the style of football's right. He's far different to what we watched last season. So the style of football's right. So he's ticking all them boxes. You know, the players aren't finishing off the chances, mate. You know, and if you, I mean, I don't know if you went to Bristol game. Jesus, you know what I mean? It was just unbelievable. The amount of chances we had, and then it got to about an hour, and I just said to bloke that sat next to me, "This is going to be.
It's not going to be our day.
It's going to go to penalties, and they're going to smash and grab it."
Yeah.
But anyway, you know, for me, for Daryl Clark, cause I've seen a lot of stuff online about saying get him out, and some people being quite abusive actually.
I'll ask you a question on this one, Ryan. You've just been mentioning that, and I've seen that as well, and I've seen abusive ones as well, right? Daryl Clark has grown into this club, and he's wanting, and I think he's frustrated as well.
Yeah.
If Daryl Clark were to go, you know, he could turn around and say, "Do you know what? I've had enough of this. I don't want this abuse. I'm going." Who do Barnsley expect to get? Because we've still got the same board who's going to reply a manager, and is this board going to give a different backing? No, they're not. No. So again, you look at managers what we've had in previous. You go into Duff, you go into Collins, you know, you go into all this. Be all and end all. It's down to the board to back the manager.
Yeah, I think that with Daryl Clark, mate, I like him. I think, you know, sometimes like on Tuesday he made some strange substitution decisions. We're not bringing Noah Carley on, and you know, and that obsession with taking Georgie Gent off and putting Pines into the middle. But I kind of get it. But it's, you know, if it works out, he gets it right. If it doesn't, is, you know, people calling for his head. It's a bit ridiculous. But my question is, you know, if we get rid of Daryl Clark, who do we bring in? Who's going to come in? You know, people saying, "No, get Mark Robbins." It's like, what? Just stop it for a minute.
Cheap option, and they'll promote.
Let's go get thingy over at Hull. Let's go get.
Yeah.
Oh Christ! Sorry, my brain's just gone. Think.
But we'll do cheap option, and we'll promote all around.
I can't remember. He's gone to Preston, on it. Former Barnsley manager. Why is my brain not working today?
But it's a bit cheap.
But you know, but we're not and being unrealistic about the managers that we can go after. Mark Robbins won't come back here. You know, he left He left us under previous owners for a reason, and we're in a league lower with less money to spend. At the moment, his stock's really high. You know, and it's that kind of thing that's frustrating me a bit, because it's like, who do we bring in? And it's only going to be the same players, and it's going to be the same budget, and it's going to be the same person that's in control of bringing players in. It's going to be. No, it's going to be different. It's still going to be the same squad. There's not going to change that dramatically. You know, I don't think there's a problem between players and coach like there was last season. Clearly last season there was with Collins. So for me, I think we stick with him.
And you're on about Paul Heckingbottom, by the way.
Paul Heckingbottom, thank you. Why? Honestly, mate, I think it's age, mate. I think it's age. I know exactly what I want to say, but his name would just not come to me.
But I get where you're coming from. I get where you're coming from, and like you say, for me, Daryl Clark, they need to back him and in January and actually get the players in that's going to help Barnsley, and because you know you look at such as Wrexham and Birmingham. We come up to Birmingham like now. You look at Birmingham. I'm not saying we're going to go out spending millions and millions and millions. I'm not saying that at all. But you look at like they keep on about and they keep talking about intention to get promotion. We want to be in Championship. We want to do this. We want to do that. Sometimes you're going to have to like,
their actions.
do it.
Unfortunately, their actions don't match up with what they're saying they want for the club. I'm sure they do want to be in Championship, mate. I'm sure they do.
Yeah, we all do.
I don't think for a minute there's people online saying they want to keep us in League One. Nidav's a very, very successful businessman. He didn't want to be ploughing £6-7 million of his own money into a club when he done after. You know, obviously there's a lot more financial gain to be made from being in Championship. He obviously wants us to be in the Championship, but this, you know, I think Dan mentioned it the other day on group chat. You can't do it frugally. You can't do it. I'm not saying we should go out and try and bankrupt the club and go silly, but we need to just spend that little bit more, be a bit more adventurous, offer them what they want, pay a bit more wages to get the right players in. If that's what you want to do, if that's what you're after, an actual promotion push, trying to do it on cheap. You know, it nearly came off in first season. You know, didn't quite come off last year, and it's looking like it's not going to come off this year if we continue on this same vein as we are now. Because it just seems like we're going to do all right for a bit and then do crap for a bit and then do all right for a bit.
Yeah.
We're going to end up outside playoffs. So,
that's not progression, is it?
It's not progression, mate. No, it's not. And, you know, like I said, I don't want it to be silly with the money and put us in a poor financial position. But they need to be a bit more adventurous if they really want to genuinely push towards Championship, which they obviously do. I know a lot of fans think they don't, but their actions need to match what the desires are. Yeah, what the targets are. So I think January is a big window, mate, and please don't leave it by the end of January. We've got a lot of games in January. Can we just get business done as early as possible? You know what I mean?
Ideally, yeah.
Now they should be I'm sure they are, but they should be approaching people or getting targets and whatever. And let's go after it. Let's go get, let's go get Taylor from Luton. I know Huddersfield are absolutely nailed on to get him, but let's go in and scupper that deal. Let's do it. Or like you said, bring Andy Dallas back.
Yeah,
we've got a striker here who's on our books, and we don't need to go out and buy anybody. Or maybe you don't need to go out and buy a second striker.
I think bring Dallas back.
He's not been given a chance at our club at all, mate. He scored in his first game. Come off as a sub, didn't score in his second game.
Yeah,
and then he's not even been at club, so he's not even had. It's not like the coaches have seen him and said, "Oh, we don't think he's good enough." He's not been here. He's not been here. So how do they know? You know?
I think with the chances being created, I think he could do a job for us, and he's our player. And I would have him back.
Neil, just 2 seconds, mate. Somebody's at the door. 2 seconds, sorry, mate.
No worries, mate. I would have him back personally. For me, you're looking at like such as Aidan Marshall, who's not really doing out at the club. He's been out on loan to several other clubs. Me personally, bring Dallas back, get him involved in the first team affairs. I'm not going to say he's going to walk straight into the team, but at least get him involved in the training, get him up to speed in training on training pitch, and style on understand why Darryl Clark wants to, implement his game. And also, it might come off at bench and he might nail a place down, but
absolutely,
at least it gives a bit more breathing space, or Darryl Clark a bit more breathing space. Look for another option. That's it, mate. Yeah.
Sorry about that, mate. We were knocking it down. Dog were barking, so I had to go and.
No worries, mate. We're going to go to the Birmingham game then. I mean, they're going to fetch and make it a full house. It's going to be in a great atmosphere.
Yeah.
We need to do us any justice. Again, at home, so it's a big ask for us straight away. I want to say Barnsley win, but if I'm being honest, if you come away with a draw, I think it'll be a result for us against Birmingham.
I'd agree with that, Neil. I'd agree with that. We need 3 points.
And that's bad, isn't it, when you're hoping for a draw at home?
Yeah, we need a win, mate. We need a win just to get a season kicked off, and because it seems to be slipping away from us at the moment. A win against a promotion rival would be a massive boost. Birmingham have been a bit up and down with the performances in the last few weeks. I think they've got some wins, but the fans have been saying they've not been playing well.
Yeah.
When I've had a look online, obviously, they got beat by Shrewsbury. So it's not like they're at absolute full tilt. They've had a good couple of results recently. So let's see. What I mean, let's just, like you said, I'm really looking forward to it. To be fair, Neil, because
Yeah, yeah, I am. Yeah.
having Oakwell full, or certainly with away end full.
Mm.
Matt from A up and down's trying to push the scarf there so we can get an atmosphere
Yeah.
going again.
Yeah.
They're going to bring 5,000, so it usually lends itself to a bit of a spectacle, doesn't it?
Mm.
But I think a point would be a good point. But we need, just for a season and for home form, we need a result. As a standalone result on its own, like I touched on earlier about Wrexham, as a standalone result on its own, a point wouldn't be a terrible point.
Mm.
But
A win, it'd be a massive boost.
In this position where the point is just, it's not so great for us.
Mm. A win for Barnsley would be a massive boost, I think. Really massive boost.
Oh, mate, if we can get a good win against Birmingham, it'll be a massive boost. I'm hoping for the tight win, but I think, I think it's more like a point. I'd probably suggest, as long as we don't get beat.
That's the thing, innit? And the manner of it as well. The manner of it as well. I think if we create chances like we have been doing at previous games, it's been more clinical because I mean, certain player that's going to sprint to man straight away for Birmingham against Stansfield. If he gets a for whiff on goal, is going to be clinical. We need, there's your golfing difference the player and the money. I totally get that, but again, he could make a chance out today for chance Stansfield. We can create a full-on chance and still not put it away. That's going to be the telling point in the game, I think, in this. All being well, it's going to be a good game. Hope weather don't disrupt it at all. I've seen it's going to be like amber warnings for rain and winds and all that kind of stuff, but I'm hoping it's I don't ruin it because it's going to be a packed out Oakwell. Like you said, from Matt from up and down is he's been really pushing on socials for Red Scarf Day and bring you make it an atmosphere and all that. Which, in fairness, I think
we will, mate. It's a big game. We know it's a big game.
Yeah,
fans know it's a big game. We can get behind. We can get behind team for these. It's the Tuesday nights we can get where they bring a van full. Yeah. They bring a van full. Away end's empty. There's not as many people there. It's really difficult to get it going on Tuesday night. However, Saturday, big game, Birmingham, away end sold out. Against a promotion rival, it's
builds up to be a decent game, doesn't it? It's a good
animal there. So I think it'll be buzzing inside Oakwell Saturday.
Yeah,
we just need a performance, mate. And if we can get a win against Birmingham, I think it'll really kickstart a sort of revival.
Yeah. Let's hope anyway. Let's hope.
Yeah.
Let's first home game in league in December. Let's hope we can start it off and go into Christmas period and on that because we don't want to slip you further behind because, like I said, come Christmas time, you more or less gauge where your teams are going to be, what we're jostling for top two relegation, mid-table and all that. So you kind of see it. Ryan, as always, been a pleasure, mate. On channel we don't script out, everything's unscripted, we just go with flow, even answering to door, we still keep it rolling, not edited or out like that, we just keep on flowing. The only place you can do. The only place you can see. No, it's all right, mate. Hey, it's what makes this show. It's unedited, unscripted, we just go with flow, mate. It don't matter, we just go with it. It's by fans for fans, and I think a lot of fans will all relate to that. We've all had a postman knock at the door. But yeah, no worries, mate. As always, it's been a pleasure. The only place you can say this as well, and mean it. One thing left to say: you Reds.